Calm down.
Why are you calm down, bro? Why are you arresting me? Calm down. What are you waiting about, bro? What are you looking at?
Arrested him, and they don't know if offences have been committed. That seems a bit strange. Ask him what you're detained for.
What are you doing, bro?
Ask him what you're detained for, please.
Okay, so he's suspected of committing an offence in the road, and then I've seen that he's been pushing back at officers. Looks like he's been assaulting police. At this moment in time, he's detained whilst we obtain his details. Okay, thank you.
Welcome back to the channel. Today's case is a perfect storm of civil liberties, policing powers, and one man's instinct colliding with the letter of the law. What starts as a peaceful moment of protest spirals into a full-on arrest, but not for what you might expect. This isn't about throwing punches or resisting violently. It's about how one reflexive human reaction can be legally branded as assault. In this breakdown, we'll look at exactly how a single movement turned into handcuffs, how the law gives officers wide latitude, and how an unlikely twist, the presence of a crowd, changed everything. Stick with us, because this case has lessons every citizen needs to know. How quickly exercising your rights can flip into a criminal charge, and how public accountability may be your greatest.
Calm down. Calm down.
Why are you calm down, bro? Why are you arresting me? Calm down. What are you waiting about, bro? What are you looking at? What are you looking let's walk away, so do not wrong. I am getting it, do not wrong. Let's bring him over here. What you arresting me for?
Earlier, John was holding his ground peacefully, without aggression. Then, a hand on the shoulder, a demand to move, and suddenly, an arrest. The officers justify it by saying he pushed back. But pause and think. Was that an act of violence or a reflexive response to being grabbed unexpectedly? The law doesn't care about your intent. It cares about the physical act. And that's the first red flag. Something as instinctive as tensing your muscles can be reframed as aggression. Do you think that's a fair standard, or is it...
I'm not doing no.
I was just stood there, bro.
Yeah, no, I get it right.
I was just walking past.
I need to speak with my colleague and whatever else, make sure that no offences have been committed.
They arrested him, and they don't know if offences have been committed. That seems a bit strange.
Let's get your details. Go from there, okay? You okay with that?
From John's point of view, he's complying, moving along, giving ground. From the police perspective, his body language signals resistance. This is the dangerous gray area where interpretation rules the day. Ask yourself, how do you prove the difference between intentional resistance and natural instinct? Unless there's video, which in this case there is. It's often the officer's word against the citizens, and that imbalance is why cases like this resonate so strongly. They remind us that what happened is rarely as simple as one-sided.
What are you doing, bro?
Ask him what you're detained for, please.
Okay, so he's suspected of committing an offence in the road, and then I've seen that he's been pushing back at officers. Looks like he's been assaulting police. At this moment in time, he's detained whilst we obtain his details. Okay,
cool.
thank you.
Cool.
It's alright, bro.
We'll let you give your details, mate, and then we'll pop back. He's giving his details.
No, that's fine. We just speaking to him private. That's why there's no crowd. I'll speak to my cop. Yeah. No, that's fine. Let's get his details.
Section reveals the most eye-opening part of UK law, the definition of assault. Most people think of fists flying, someone getting hurt. But here, assault can be no more than creating fear of violence. Battery, the other side of the coin, can be just unwanted physical contact, even something as minor as a push a shove, or, in John's case, stiffening up when grabbed. Legally, that was enough to justify an arrest for assaulting an officer. Shocking, isn't it? It forces us to confront how much broader legal definitions are than our everyday resisting arrest. It sounds obvious, don't fight back. But when the arrest itself feels unjust, most people instinctively struggle. And here's the kicker. Even if the arrest is later judged unlawful, your resistance in that moment can still be a crime. That's what makes this area of law so controversial. It places the burden entirely on the citizen to submit first and fight later in court. But let's be honest, not everyone has the resources, patience, or trust in the system to wait for justice. Would you have the discipline to comply in that moment? Or would
Giving details.
What is that, section 50?
We don't know, because he said he suspected he committed offences in the road, so blocking the highway somehow, I don't know. But then so they're trying to pull him out of the road, which sounds like to me, trying to pull him out of the road, and then he's kicked off, and then they're talking about self-police. But I don't think that'll go that far.
That was fucking mental, that wasn't it?
He just erupted out of nowhere, having the right fight, shout with someone, and it was next to crazy.
Started running.
Went mental, didn't it?
This police should have got to her first, though. They had plenty of time to just calm her down and bring her away.
See something before eyes. Come on.
Oh, you won't be.
Blue lights here.
Details. They might just put him off. Tell him to go leave the area.
This is where the story takes a dramatic turn. John's fate looked sealed until the crowd stepped in. Notice the difference their presence makes. They don't rush the officers. They don't escalate. Instead, they calmly record, question, and stand as witnesses. That alone shifts the balance of power. Suddenly, it's not just the officers. Narrative that will be written into the record. It's the citizens as well. And that accountability changes everything. Without those phones, without those voices, John likely would have been processed, charged, and left to fight alone. In court,
likely to cause a disturbance or violence, they can take action, including asking you to move or even arresting you. So, when the police laid hands on John, they likely did so under the belief they were preventing a breach of the peace. The moment he resisted the drag, he created the grounds for the assault charge. It's a legal domino effect, and it all starts with that first, seemingly minor interaction. Back to our story. John is now under arrest. The situation looks bleak, but then something remarkable happens. A group of citizens, seeing the incident unfold, approaches the police. They are not aggressive, but they are firm. They challenge the police, stating clearly that they saw everything, that John did nothing wrong, and that he did not assault anyone. They become witnesses. Their phones become recording devices. Their collective presence changes the entire dynamic. The police are now in a new position. Their actions are being scrutinised, recorded, and questioned by a dozen people.
So, just listen to what we've got. Okay, so obviously we'll explain what you were detained for, being my colleagues obviously just
drunken disorder.
Yeah, so we're obviously releasing you now. I know you're releasing. I just need to explain a couple of bits, okay? So obviously if you go back up there and you start engaging in activity like that again, then we will have to arrest you, but we're giving you the benefit of the doubt. We're going to give you a warning, okay? If you're saying you're going to get drunk, you're going to go get a tin, and then you're coming off after. Alright, go on then. Oh, well, I'll come with you. So,
He's de-arrested now.
Good man, I'm good.
Let him go.
Well, that way. Give him a warning.
You take him out.
An arrest that seemed straightforward a moment ago is now complicated. It's a public spectacle. After a few tense minutes of discussion, the police make a decision. They uncuff John. They let him go. John was lucky. But we have to ask the question the user posed. What would have happened if that group of people hadn't intervened? The intervention of the crowd likely saved him from that entire ordeal. They tipped the scales of evidence and de-escalated the situation through public accountability. John's story is a chilling lesson, but it's also an empowering one. It teaches us that knowing the law and knowing your rights is not optional, it's your shield. So, if you find yourself in a similar situation, here is what you must remember. The line between maintaining public order and overreaching authority is incredibly thin. The police have a difficult job, but they are not above the law, and their power is not absolute. John was arrested because of a technicality in the law and a situation that spiraled out of control. He was freed because of the power of citizen solidarity. Know your rights. Understand the rules. And look out for one another, because the freedom that you don't defend is the freedom that you can lose.